If you're trying to install Gothic 2 on a modern system and you're tired of the game not starting, crashes or having to follow guides that are 10 years out of date, don't worry, I've got you. In this video I show you how to install Gothic 2 manually in 3 easy and fast steps. This method works with every version of the game, CD, GOG or Steam, and it's a setup I personally recommend. Later I'll also show you a faster and easier alternative using the Steam Workshop, but it's less reliable, which is exactly why I still recommend the manual 3-step installation. Regardless which method you'll use, by the end of this guide your Gothic 2 will finally start, run smooth as butter, and the visuals will look dramatically better thanks to Union and the D3D11 Renderer. It's also worth staying until the end, as I'll also share some really useful tips like how to increase NPC spawn distance and how to fix stuttering. To make things a bit easier to follow, I've put together a Word document with all the steps and download links. You can find the link in the video description. Alright, let's get Gothic 2 installed properly. First, make sure you install Gothic 2 on your system. In my case, I'm using the Steam version. Just a tip, it can be really useful to remember in which folder you installed your Gothic. After that's done, we'll install the easy sounding Gothic 2 Union Primary Universal patch. This patch includes everything you had to install individually before and serves as the required foundation for the Union installation we'll complete next. Simply go into the Google Drive patch I linked and press download. After a short loading time, it might show a warning saying the file is too large to scan. In that case, just press download anyway. Once the file is downloaded, go into your downloads folder and run it with administrative rights. The installer should automatically detect your Gothic 2 installation folder. If it doesn't, simply select the folder manually. And while I'm showing you an example with my Steam version, here's a quick overview of everything that's included in this patch. The latest official 2.60 report patch, player kit 2.8 and the 4GB patch allowing Gothic 2 to use up to 4GB of RAM instead of being limited to 2GB, which greatly improves stability and performance. Once the folder is selected, just press next and everything will be installed. Just a short note, if it doesn't work, you might need to install the 2.6 patch before running the Union Primary Universal patch. I leave a link in the description, but for most of you it should just work without any problems. Next we'll install the heart of the modern Gothic 2 installation, Union. It makes the old system pack obsolete and finally allows Gothic 2 to run smoothly on modern systems, while also fixing many of the most annoying bugs and crashes. Open the Google Drive link for Union and like before, press download, and if asked, press download anyways. After it's downloaded, go into your downloads folder and open the file with administrative rights. The installer should automatically detect your Gothic 2 installation folder. If it doesn't, select it manually. Once it's selected, press next and it will be installed. Easy as that. And finally, we're going to install the D3D11 Renderer. This will greatly improve the visual quality of the game while keeping its original look and atmosphere intact. It's the mod pretty much everyone uses to bring Gothic 2 into the modern age. Even if you're on a weaker PC or laptop, and especially if you're getting low FPS inside the game, this is absolutely worth installing. The reason is the renderer makes better use of modern hardware, which often results in better performance despite the improved graphics. Go into the GitHub page of the D3D11 Renderer and under releases, which is the page I linked in the document, download the newest version. Usually the latest release of the renderer is the one right at the top of the list. Once it's downloaded, open the folder from your downloads folder, and after that open a second file explorer window and navigate to the system folder of your Gothic 2 installation, and then simply drag and drop all the files into the system folder. And that's it. With these 3 easy steps our installation of Gothic 2 is done. I hope it was as easy as I promised. For completeness, I'll now also show you the Steam Workshop method for those of you who have the Steam version. If you already completed the manual installation, you can safely skip this part and move forward to the rest of the installation guide, where I'll also show some really useful tips for improving the performance and graphics of the game. So, Gothic 2 got a new workshop on Steam. To activate it, right-click the game in your Steam library and press Properties. Then go into Game Versions and Betas and select Workshop Beta. Additionally, go into the General tab and choose Play Mod Launcher as your start option. These steps might not be necessary in the future once the workshop leaves the beta. Now you can open the Gothic 2 workshop on Steam. Under Most Subscribed, you'll find Union and the D3D11 Renderer. Simply subscribe to both and they will be downloaded and installed automatically. Those two are what make up the modern Gothic 2 installation. They will make the game finally start properly and also improve performance and graphics. I explained both of them in a bit more detail in the manual installation chapter. What should also be mentioned, the Steam version already includes the latest patch, the player kit and the 4GB patch. These have been integrated since 2021, so you don't have to worry about those anymore. You can also subscribe to additional mods, for example the widely popular mod Legend of Azun. The Steam Workshop is full of mods and it keeps growing every single day. The Gothic community is honestly just the best for keeping the game alive after such a long time. When you now press start, the mod launcher will open. From there you can enable or disable any mods you've subscribed to. This method is definitely faster, but it's also less reliable. Sometimes it doesn't work properly or the mods are outdated. That's why I still recommend the easy 3-step manual installation that I showed you before. No matter if you went with the manual installation or the Steam Workshop method, we are now at the final step to ensure the game launches properly and runs smoothly. Navigate to the system folder of your Gothic 2 installation, find the gothic.exe, right click it, select properties and open the compatibility tab. Here, make sure to check disable full screen optimizations and then press apply. That's it, now everything should work as intended. But if your Gothic 2 still refuses to start or the Union installation didn't work, then I have one last resort for you. Only do this if the game still doesn't launch, otherwise you can safely skip forward to my advanced tips. Navigate into the system folder of your Gothic 2 installation, search for the file gothic.ini. It might simply be called Gothic. Open it, now look for the following lines. Find site value and set it to 4. Then find scale video and set it to 0. And last and most importantly, find play logo video and set it to 0. For some people these small changes work like a little miracle. With this, the game finally starts without any problems. So I really hope this helped some of you. And don't forget to save the file, otherwise none of this will work. Whatever method you use, the manual installation or the Steam Workshop, we've reached the most satisfying part of this guide. When you now press start, the game should finally run without any problems, and when you begin a new game, you will not only be greeted by Zardas,
"There you are again. I never thought the two of us would meet again,"
but also by way better graphics, less crashes and a much smoother experience. Now we're starting with my first tip. Inside the game, if you press F11, a settings menu will appear. Here you can change the D3D11 graphic settings like the texture and shadow quality, as well as the world draw distance and other settings. My recommendation, leave those settings mostly as they are, because if set too high, it can greatly reduce the performance of the game. Another tip, if you press Ctrl plus F11 inside the settings menu, an even more advanced options menu will appear. Here you can change even more settings, including the fog. You can enable or disable the fog or change its range. My recommendation is to set it to 6 because you can see further while it still looks natural. Keep in mind that the maximum visible fog distance also depends on your world draw distance. So for the best results, make sure your world draw distance is set high enough to support the fog range you choose. And finally, don't forget to press apply inside the settings menu so all your changes are saved and will still be there when you restart the game. For my next tips, go into the system folder of your Gothic installation and search for the files gothic.ini and systempack.ini. In your case, they might just be called Gothic and Systempack. Open both of them. We'll start with the gothic.ini. Here, search for the line set startup windowed and set it to 1, which can reduce stuttering. Next, search for the lines set text cache size max bytes and set sound cache size max bytes. These are the cache sizes for the textures and sounds. Add 2 zeros to both of these values. This can greatly increase the FPS in certain areas inside the game. Now we're switching to the systempack.ini. Search for the line Borderless window and set it to 1. In my experience and of many others, the game behaves smoother when played in Borderless windowed mode, and you will experience less stuttering. And lastly, search for the line spawn insert range and spawn remove range. They determine at which distance NPCs get spawned and removed from the draw distance. I recommend increasing these values to 8000 and 8500, as it noticeably reduces NPC pop-ins and visually looks better when you can see more NPCs at a wider distance. But be careful when putting in values over 10,000, as it can lead to a significant decrease in performance. And make sure to set the NPC draw distance high enough so the values you entered actually take effect. And finally, don't forget to save both files so all the changes will be applied. And with that, we've reached the end of my Gothic 2 installation guide. Now your game should finally run smoothly, look absolutely epic, and feel like a proper modern version of this legendary RPG. I truly hope you have an amazing time exploring Khorinis and to dive back into one of the greatest games ever made. If you're also planning to replay the other Gothic titles, I've made installation guides for Gothic 1 and Gothic 3 as well. You'll find the links in the video description. And now, enjoy your adventure. Auf Wiedersehen.